Hello, welcome to today's video. This is the second video of the three-part series on connecting with your loved ones. I'm sharing three spreads with you, one that can help you with grief, one that can help you get specific information about a certain situation you might be dealing with, and the other spread that I'm going to share with you is going to help you connect with your loved one, even if you're not sure which loved one is trying to communicate with you or what message they have for you. So that's the first spread I'm going to start off with is is the spread to help you connect with your loved one. And I just called it Connecting with a Loved One spread. You can get access to all of the spreads that I'm going to share with you today with some space for you to journal about any spreads that you might pull for yourself if you have your own oracle or tarot decks at home by going to my website at breatheconnectthrive.com and clicking on the resources tab. And there you'll have access to other free resources that I have available on the website, as well as different tarot spreads that I've created in the past. So let's get into it. And for today's tarot spreads and readings, because I'm actually going to do readings with them, I am using Chris Ann's Light Seers tarot deck, one of my favorite tarot decks so far, as well as the Kyle Gray Angel Guide, which I thought was fitting to use for this spread. So first up, we have a message from a loved one spread, and this is a 3-card spread, and I am using the Light Seers tarot deck for the first 2 cards in the spread. And the first card in the spread is, what is your loved one's personality? The second card in the spread is, how do they communicate with you? And the third card in the spread, I am using Kyle Gray's Angel Guide deck, and I'm going to be reading directly from the guidebook for that message from your loved one. And that card is, what is the message that your loved one has for you? Okay. So the personality of your loved one is the personality that was usually available to you. So this loved one may have been somebody that went through a lot of stuff, emotional stuff, maybe a lot of anxiety. Maybe they dealt with a lot of pain in their lives. They definitely didn't have an easy life. They had to deal with a lot. They had to deal with a whole bunch in their life. And so your loved one is somebody who was really maybe almost always starting over, and maybe almost always having to do things almost the hard way, almost having to, I feel like there was a lot of pain in this loved one's life, and maybe their death was something not welcome. I don't like to say that word, but maybe it almost felt like it was a relief for them to have passed away. It feels like, especially the last few years of their life, it was very difficult for them, even though they put on a brave face and were always like, come on, we can do this and we can keep going. But it does feel like your loved one did have a lot going on in their living life. How does your loved one communicate with you? Your loved one communicates with you through really your logical mind. It's funny because when I see this card as your loved one's personality and how they communicate with you here, I think that they give you lots of advice when it comes to legal matters and when it comes to matters of like contracts and things like that. It seems like they help you out a lot with that. How they communicate with you is straightforward, like through your thoughts. So if you're thinking of them, if you're having memories of them, if somebody brings them up, it's really like in a thought-based way. But it's funny because the Justice card is more about tangible things, about results. And so it feels like they're also helping you with results. What is the message that your loved one has for you? It's take a step back. So I'm going to go ahead and read from the guidebook, because my deal with the oracle cards is that I read directly from the guidebook. So I'm going to go ahead and read from the guidebook for you, with what the message is that your loved one has for you. So take a step back. Your angels are guiding you to take a step back and reflect before proceeding further. There is an excitable and action-oriented energy around you at this time, but you are being encouraged to review the situation before making any moves. Remember that you are a sensitive being, and should the correct steps and intentions not be lined up for you, you could open yourself up to harsh energies or situations that could be limiting your growth. In order to have the best experience and a positive outcome, take the time now to meditate on your actions, intentions, visions, and goals. Call in your angels and invite them to guide you to make decisions that will be supportive of your expansion and your highest good. And then it has an extended message here, which I'll read for you. When we try to rush ahead or force something to happen, we can often miss signals and messages that are encouraging us to change course. If you have a big decision to make now, or are in the midst of moving a project forward, your angels are encouraging you to take a step back and breathe. What is for you will go by you. Your angels are encouraging you to step into the energy of trust. When you do so, you will draw universal energy to support you. If you have concerns about another person or relationship, this card is guiding you to draw back and respect the space of others. Let this be a time of self-care and self-awareness. And when you step back, you let the universe in. I love this, especially with the transition of the cards. So we started off with the personality or the energy of your loved one, how they were in living life, how they communicate with you. Again, like through contracts and things like that. Like, it's so funny because I said that and I didn't even know, like I hadn't even read this card yet, but it does make sense that if you were, and through thoughts and things like that. And so like legal matters and things like that. So there are some legal matters that are coming up for you. Maybe your loved one is warning you because of like the things that they went through, like that were really difficult. Maybe I think that when people pass away, they have an overarching view that we don't have. I don't think necessarily like they could tell us what's going to happen, because nobody really knows what's going to happen. They could probably give us like an overview of what they think might happen or what they feel might happen, because really we have free will. And so it's always up to us to decide, how we want to move forward. Even if things are all lined up for us, we're the ones that make the choice. We're the ones that choose either to take the action or to not, to stay where we are. But I love this progression of, how their personality, how they communicate with you through thoughts, through contracts and things like that. Maybe that's when they show up, in your life is, maybe that's when, I love that. That's when they want to be around you the most, or maybe that's when you need them the most. And maybe that's when you ask for their guidance the most without even knowing that, maybe you need guidance when the legal matters are happening, when the scales of justice are, falling. And, right now in this moment, they're asking you to take a step back and to reevaluate and to look at things before you proceed further, which is a beautiful thing, I think. Sometimes when we take a step back, it can be a little bit daunting, especially if we're ready to go forward. But I like that last line, take a step back and let the universe take the lead. I definitely have a hard time with that advice, taking a step back and letting the universe take the lead. Okay, so moving on to our second reading, or tarot spread. I try to make these tarot spreads, but really, I really try to make these tarot spread videos, but honestly, like, I don't think that was ever Source's intention for me when I created these tarot spread videos, because I really just do readings for them. Okay, so this one has 4 cards in the spread. I'll use the first 3 cards by pulling the Light Seers Tarot deck. And then for the last card, I will use the Kyle Gray Angels Guide deck. And so this is the grief spread. And the questions in this spread are: what needs to be processed? What is the action you can take to start some healing? How will you feel once you start moving on from the grief? And I just saw that card through the viewfinder here. And what is the comfort from your loved one to help you heal? Again, I am using Kyle Gray's Angel Guide deck. So let's get into it. Okay. So what needs to be processed? Oh gosh. Okay. What needs to be processed? The action you can take for healing. And how will you feel once you start moving on? I'm going to start with that, how you're going to feel once you start moving on from the grief. And I'm going to cry because, sometimes it feels like you don't want to, like you want to keep honoring your loved one's life. And I think we can do that. But sometimes there is, I don't know about you guys, but there is this immense guilt of enjoying things because we want to have enjoyed the things with them. And I can definitely relate to this because, shortly after my mom died, or the day before I found out she was sick, I told my boss that I was quitting. And then shortly after she died, I found this amazing studio, and there was so many things to celebrate, but I missed her so much. But the reason that I'm saying this is because how you're going to feel when you really start moving on is you are going to feel successful. You are going to allow yourself to feel happy. This is what they really want for you. They want you to feel happy. They want you to enjoy life. When people pass away, I don't think it feels like their intention is not to let you dwell in the sorrow of losing them, but more to celebrate life, celebrate yourself, but also to celebrate their life too, to celebrate those things in life that you've loved about them, to really celebrate them and celebrate yourself too. So this is how you're going to feel once you start, getting glimpses of moving on past that grief. I don't think that we ever really get over people's death. I think that we just have tools to help us, navigate, and we kind of have a little bit more distance from that. But no matter what the distance from the loved one's death, we can always still access that grief. And sometimes you just don't even know, whether it's 33 years removed or, 8 months removed, their feeling, the feeling of their life, the feeling of losing them is still very, very accessible. And so how you're going to feel when you start moving on from the grief, or when you start putting some distance from yourself from the grief, is going to be a sense of celebration. I just had to start off with that card because I think that's a beautiful thing to see in this spread and reading. Okay, so what needs to be processed? I think that it's interesting that this card came up, and it is the Knight of Wands. So what needs to be processed is the feeling of needing to move forward really quickly. It feels like after your loved one's death, you're like, okay, let's get on, let's do it. Let's, you kind of almost threw yourself into the flame of productivity, into the flame, and you didn't really get a chance to process your grief, because it just really feels like the action that you need to take for healing is to really fall back in love with your life, really fall back in love with existing, really fall back in love with existing in life, the day-to-day stuff of life, the things, the small miracles, the really small miracles, to really fall back in love with the process of life, with all of life, with getting up, with doing the things, with all the things, all the little things, to get excited about things, to get excited about those things that come into your life. Because sometimes we can just be moving so quickly, like getting all the things done, doing all the things, and just move, fast moving energy, this fast moving energy. We don't really stop to smell the roses. I think they're literally telling you to stop and smell the roses, to really pay attention to those things in life that make you smile, because then you can really celebrate their lives and celebrate who they were and celebrate yourself at the same time too. So, what is the message? And I think this is so beautiful. Maybe it's too soon for me to do messages from loved ones, because I'm probably going to be crying throughout this whole series. But I think it's just beautiful how the tarot and how the guidance from source works, because we always get what we need. We don't necessarily get what we think we need. We always get what we need. So the comfort from your loved one to help you heal is Sacred Plan. And again, I'm going to be reading from the guidebook, because that is my deal with the cards, that I read directly from the guidebook. Sacred Plan. This card doesn't represent the plan that God has for your life, more the plan that comes into fruition based on your intentions and your highest good. You have been given the incredible gift of free will, and therefore your thoughts, deeds, actions, and intention are in some way going into the universe and curating the experiences, opportunities, and energies that are flowing in and out of your life. When this card appears, you are being encouraged to move into a state of surrender, where you recognize that yes, your intentions have an impact on the creation of life, but how those intentions unfold is not down to you, but in the hands of God. The divine plan of your intentions unfolding in a way that God or the universe feels is for your growth and your highest good. Know that every experience you have been through in your life has been a way marker on your journey towards growth and expansion, and your angels are acknowledging your growth now. And the extended message says, if you are trying to force a plan into action, the angelic guidance is to back down and trust in the greater good. Often when something isn't happening for us, we're frustrated, but that's only because we don't see the perfect plan is unfolding. When your ideas or plans go wrong, trust the universe has a greater plan for you. And that greater plan isn't something that's already been chosen for you. It's more of a culmination of all of your life's intentions, prayers, and actions washing back towards you with opportunities and experiences. Call on your angels to light up the path ahead. You may feel that you are facing the unknown, but know that you're always guided and protected. Okay, that is amazing. Okay. Now moving on to our final spread / reading. This is a 4-card spread. This is guidance from a loved one in a specific situation. So if you have a specific question that you want guidance from your loved one with, then you might want to either do this reading for yourself or listen to this reading if you don't own tarot or oracle cards. The first 3 cards I am using Chris Ann's Light Seers tarot deck. So the first question is, what is your role in this situation? What's going to help you navigate this particular situation or circumstance? What is something that you're not aware of? And what is the guidance from your loved one? So let's see what we have here. So I'm going to start up with the thing that you're not aware of. So the thing that you're not aware of is that things are moving fast and they're already lined up for you. I think sometimes this can be frustrating to hear that things are moving fast and they're already lined up for you, especially when you're not seeing the results right now. But what's really going to help you navigate the situation is to bring all of your ideas down and make your focus something singular. There's a lot of things that it feels like sometimes you can't control, but there are some things that you can control. And I think what really is going on with this situation for you is that if you can bring your focus down into one place, take all the ideas and all of the things and bring them down into this central place, because you're walking this really tight rope here with all the things that you have going on, because it does feel like you may have a lot of stuff going on. But I think what your loved one is really saying is that things are moving really fast. It may feel like things are moving in a slow pace. This is you, who you are in this situation. You want things to work. You're perfecting the things and you're wanting things to work out really well. You're trying to play well with other people. You're trying to get, you're trying to, put yourself out there and make the things happen. But Source is really saying that they are happening already. You just have to kind of bring your focus down into that one space, and let yourself really balance all of the ideas that you have, so that you can bring it down into this one space. Because once you allow that focus, that centralized focus, to allow you to start taking action towards a specific thing, things move fast for you. So the guidance from your loved one is holy love. Beautiful card here. So I will read the guidance from your loved one in this particular situation. And here we go. Okay. This one is a long message. So, holy love. All right. You are blessed to receive this card today, for it shows you are being surrounded by loving energy, and the cup of your heart will be filled until it overflows with goodness. The angels who are with you now know that at times you can feel unloved and underappreciated, and this can block your experience of love and appreciation. The divine energy that is surrounding you at this time is there to help you melt away any blockages so that you can be open and receptive to the love and appreciation that you deserve. Your angel guide is encouraging you to view yourself in a loving way, to give yourself permission to be loved. If you have been holding back for a while, but are now ready to share the love you have within, this card brings a message that it's safe for you to do so. And then the extended message says, angels of love are gathering around you in awe and celebration, for you're finally willing to remember how loving and lovable you are. And heaven is guiding you to see that you deserve loving relationships, loving experiences, and loving acceptance from the world around you. This card marks a milestone in your own self-awareness. It acknowledges the steps you have taken to claim your worth and to recognize that you deserve to be loved and respected and to feel good. It also acknowledges a new level of spiritual openness, which draws even more divine love from your angels and the Creator. You are loved beyond your wildest dreams, and by the power and the presence that created you. And through receiving and acknowledging that love, you will create even more loving experiences in your life. So that is a message from your loved one about a particular situation in your life. I hope these readings and tarot spreads resonated with you. And if they did, be sure to let me know. Leave a comment, like the video, or let me know in some other way. And come back next week for part 3 in the series for connecting with your loved ones. That's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.